Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 18th of May. So starting off looking as ever at news events due out today, and it's a very light week in terms of news. In fact, we've done pretty much most of it. There was the Australian Monetary Policy Minutes out at 2:30, and then we got Governor Bailey speaking at 3 p.m. and the Swiss National Bank chairman speaking at 4 p.m. So very little. There are lots of other speakers out there, very low valued in terms of their potential of moving the markets. So on that note, let's have a look at the markets. Starting off looking at euro dollar as ever, and we've already had this sort of surge up this morning. It's pushed up quite strongly in the last 4 hours relative to yesterday when it's almost the same in this first 4 hours. I suppose we did it yesterday in the second 4 hours. Have we got a bit more in the fuel in this tank today? It just petered out yesterday and barely went anywhere for long periods. So coming down the time frames where it's already just about into its R2, just short of its R2 at this stage. Whenever it does this, it's quite frustrating in terms of you want this to be the bar that we get in on, not the bar that we're watching before we try and get into these markets. So we'll see what happens here. There is potential for continuation. I was looking for something positive that's really driving this at the moment, and well, there's not a great deal sitting in front of us. So for now, just leaving that as trading it, or looking to trade it maybe on a retrace. We'll see if there's something comes back. The trend is pretty good at the moment for the euro. It did tweak its swing yesterday, and it's pushing in the, as I say, right direction technically. A lot of these markets are more suited to swing than day trading at the moment, he says, as a day trader. The pound is a similar game here. It's yet another day up. It's moving in the right direction in the bigger picture, but short term it's not giving us that much in the way of opportunities. Now, there is a bit of divergence into its R2 on the pound. Well, and often when you look at these, you think, I'm just coming right down the time frames here, you look at these and you think, well, there's scope for continuation, and all of a sudden they sort of rock over at 8 o'clock. We'll see. We've got untouched daily pivots on both of them, which often see price action hit, but having moved so far, I'm less convinced that that's going to happen. The probability once the R1s have been hit is less, and we're into some good shape at the moment. Maybe a break of the trend across the lows there may give a cable a sign to a weaker sign, but I really want to be on the right side of these markets. In the dollar yen, for example, well, I still have a short position open, but I'm at stop at break even situation on this. I'm not totally convinced on the upside at the moment with the way the dollar's just softening. As I said yesterday, we just got this sort of 1 day up, and that was it, and it's back into sort of a downward trend. And well, I'll put my sort of position trade as to break even and see what it does, but I expect that will get stopped out at break even. It's just no point at this stage fighting the calls. I could have emptied it out and taken the profit, but you never know. It might just catch onto a bit of support beforehand, but I don't expect too much. Now, there is a nice trend line running across the highs there, so at some stage there might be better opportunities. I've drawn that a bit messy. There we go. Let's take it from about there. It's a nearer term trend line. So if we start seeing it breaking over there, and I do get stopped out, where it's given me a sort of an area where there is or was there's some potential, just as we saw last time. But we'll see how this goes. As I said, I sat through this and watched it coming off against me previously. I was in right the way back. Oh, goodness knows when. But for now, I should just leave that. I don't expect it to do anything else but drift its way south. Aussie dollar, a bit slow. Inside day yesterday, okay, it's picking up a little bit at the moment, but the commodity currencies don't seem to have had such a good time, where the Aussie and the New Zealand didn't have such a good time. The Canadian dollar's doing okay. What we got here and in this move is a higher low confirmed, and again it looks like it's got some potential. Whether this follows through into our session, we'll have to see, but looks like it's got potential at the moment for further upside. New Zealand dollar, I'm short on New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm short on the US dollar Canadian here. It's coming down to one of my previous target areas as I speak, but my main target really now is this monthly 200, so it's quite a wait in store for that. I think it'll be at least probably another month before that does anything, unless we get a real rider running. I must admit, I don't really want to be sitting in it next non-farm payroll, so I get a feeling we might see a tilt the other way. But for now, short term, it's a difficult one to get back into. They had an opportunity yesterday, but I'm already in it, so didn't need to get back into it. There was the breakdown there for yesterday. Anyone wanted to get into it, but now it's just really a continuation move. Okay, New Zealand dollar. Quickly look at that. See where we are here. Okay, so New Zealand dollar much choppier. Still got, I mean, versus the Australian dollar, it's still got potential there, but it's slow. Yesterday was actually a down day. It's sluggish and choppy. I'll leave that alone. There's really no point in trying to work that one out at the moment. Maybe it will have a bit more trend. Euro yen, it's continuing in its trend here. Again, it's just really waiting for anything clean to trade. Last week we had a nice move back to its weekly pivot, and off it went again. Maybe we'll see something this week, but at the moment it's quite difficult. I mean, intraday, it's in this sort of range. Maybe a support area could come back, but again, difficult one to just jump on board there. Euro pound, for those that follow Euro pound, found this a little bit on the choppier side. Pound might just gain a little bit here. It ran in, and yesterday we saw the sort of reversal kicking through there. Short term looks like it's got potential for downside, although we're seeing a bit of a retrace at this stage. That in itself might give an opportunity either back to 21 or a little bit further for a sell point if you really like trading that. Personally, I tend to steer clear it most of the time because there are such long periods of correlation. Okay, not a lot more on the currencies for a moment. A lot of them, as I said, have got a bit consolidated. To push out overnight doesn't really help me a lot. I want to be pushing in the daytime. Okay, S&Ps. Well, yesterday a bit of a disappointing day relatively, but it held up there. We're already looking like we're pushing through its highs here, and just there we go. It's broken my trend line I drew on throughout yesterday afternoon. There, it's broken that, and it's really, if you look at it from this time, it does look like it's got potential to push back up and maybe back to those absolute highs there. Could be a little swing trade with stops below the low there. Looks all right at the moment. Okay, that's the S&Ps. Gold. So gold pushed up and continued pushing up yesterday. It's liking these moves. As long as we've got a dollar on the back foot, gold's enjoying things at the moment. But again, no signs of a retrace at the moment. There was a bit of a retrace yesterday. Turned around in the afternoon and fired off there again. Best time to trade gold generally is in the afternoon, often in the afternoon, although we do get some lighter volume moves earlier. But here we go, that's off. May have opportunities. Oil, well, oil yesterday again pushed back up again. It's, as I said, it really at the moment it's really only on the bullish side can be traded. As much as I'm sitting there waiting to pounce on any weakness, but it doesn't seem to be we're going to get one at the moment, and there's no point fighting what the market's showing us on the charts here, and it's just pushing up and up. So wait my turn on that, and I mean you could be buying on sort of anything decent in the way of dips at this stage. Right, that's that. Just finally looking at the cryptos, I'm going to show you obviously Bitcoin on here. Bitcoin's had a bit more difficulty late. It didn't help with Elon Musk saying he won't take Bitcoin, but then later on, just to appease the audience, it seems, saying he hadn't sold any Bitcoin either, and it sort of slowed the sell-off there down on Bitcoin. I think it's under the cosh somewhat, for sure. Ethereum took a sell-off yesterday back to just below, well, around about 131, about 31, 3,100 sort of level yesterday. 3107 actually yesterday. It's again potential pickup. Ethereum is my favorite at the moment. Ripple is just consolidated at this stage, but it's consolidating and looks like, well, there's the potential for the break of sort of 160 to push up again. So there is that potential for it to push at some stage. But there we are. That's pretty much it for me today, unless there's any questions out there, which there isn't at the moment. So I will wish you a great day. I think it's going to be one of those hang on and wait days. I wish you a great one. Bye for now.